Dear Taurus, have you ever felt the weight of someone's absence, as if they vanished from your life without explanation? What if I told you that there's a woman out there who is paying just to never see you again? Not because you did anything wrong, but because your steadfast and authentic presence makes it impossible for her to maintain her facade. In this video, we will delve deep into the reasons behind her actions, exploring the realms of karma, tarot, and Taurus astrology. Above all, we'll uncover how Archangel Michael is quietly shielding you, severing toxic ties to instability, and guiding your soul towards a beautiful, grounded renewal. So, why is she so terrified of your solidity? Let's find out together. Life is full of unexpected departures. Sometimes we only notice when someone quietly slips away from our daily rhythm. No more messages, no more reliable presence, and certainly no more chance encounters. But what truly stirs the Taurus soul is not the absence itself, but that nagging feeling. Why did they pull away? Why would someone who once seemed deeply connected choose to stay away forever? I know you've pondered this, asking yourself, what did I do wrong? But I want you to listen with your strong, grounded heart, not your anxious mind. You did nothing wrong. In fact, you lived too steadfastly, too authentically, and therein lies the real issue. Your presence is like a solid foundation in a room where others are trying to hide their own instability. Your reliable and down-to-earth essence shines through the pretense, revealing what they are not ready to confront. When someone isn't prepared to face their own inner struggles, their lack of grounding, or their inconsistencies, they may flee from you, not because you're dangerous, but because your stability compels them to look at their own shaky ground. I've seen many Taurus souls carry this quiet solidity, one that doesn't boast or demand attention. It emanates from your loyalty, from the way you keep your word, and love with faithfulness and endurance. This strength can sometimes intimidate those who are unhealed or insecure, making them feel exposed and vulnerable. Instead of seeking healing or building their own foundation, they choose to escape, perhaps even paying a price to avoid facing their own lack in your presence. This isn't rejection, it's a reflection of their inability to face themselves and their lack of substance. You don't need to carry the burden of understanding this. Simply stand firm on your ground as the door closes and keep being authentically you. Remember, when someone leaves your life, it's not always a loss. It might be a blessing in disguise, a form of divine protection from the universe, keeping you safe from repeating a cycle of instability and hurt. You don't have to lower your standards or change who you are to make others comfortable. You are a Taurus, a soul with a loyal heart and a deep perception of true value. When a spirit like yours walks in truth, even silently, the universe responds. You may sense the sudden shift, the unspoken words, and the unresolved connections, all for a reason. Sometimes that reason isn't about you. It's tied to the karmic journey of the other person. Some individuals simply can't handle the honesty and reliability you bring into their lives. They aren't mature enough to meet your steady gaze without trembling, and they choose avoidance. But truth can't be evaded forever, and your foundation doesn't crumble just because someone else closes their eyes. You don't need to do anything more. There's no need to explain or wait for someone to return. Just continue living with the authenticity and endurance you've always possessed, and life will eventually lead you to the right, truly valuable people at the right time. Have you ever felt shunned without clear reasoning? A trusted person suddenly goes silent, or a connection fades without explanation. Speak out. Perhaps someone is listening and can relate to your experience. When you dare to share, you liberate yourself from the feeling of being stuck or undervalued. You open the door for light to flow in, allowing other souls to step forward, those who are ready to face you, to love you steadfastly and unconditionally. It's in the moment you relinquish doubt about your worth that the miraculous begins to unfold. A protective energy forms around you, not from the physical realm, but from the invisible world. You may notice small signs, a deep sense of peace, a recurring dream of safety, or a feeling of being supported amidst chaos. These are messages from your guardian angel. Even more remarkable, Archangel Michael has entered your journey the moment you vowed to never allow anyone to shatter your peace or compromise your core values again. His presence may not be loud, but it's powerful enough to make darkness and instability retreat. There are things happening beyond your sight, but your grounded, intuitive heart always knows. In the next part, we'll delve deeper into how Archangel Michael quietly cuts toxic cords to instability, opening a new journey where your soul is uplifted and healed on a firmer foundation. When Archangel Michael appears, it signifies that your soul is being safeguarded. Stay tuned, because the most sacred part is yet to come. There's no trumpet blaring or blinding light announcing his arrival, but grounded and sensitive souls like you can always recognize him by your heart. Have you ever experienced a moment when everything suddenly felt more stable, more secure? Not because your circumstances changed, but because a part of you stopped struggling. A part of you whispered, "Enough. I deserve peace and respect more than this." I call that the moment Archangel Michael steps into your life. I don't believe in coincidences. I believe in divine timing. When Archangel Michael enters a soul's life, it means karma has reached a pivotal intersection between endings and new beginnings. Not everyone invites him into their lives, only those hearts that have endured enough pain and have been brave enough to say, "I will no longer return to the place where I lost my peace and sense of self-worth." Michael doesn't come as a savior, stretching out his arms to carry you away. Instead, he stands silently, waiting for you to step out of the darkness on your own 2 feet. He walks behind you, never ahead, offering divine protection. You see, this protection doesn't always manifest in dazzling forms. Sometimes it comes through loss. A friend you thought was loyal suddenly departs, or a relationship you believed was the one collapses because it lacked a true foundation. Amidst these experiences, you may feel abandoned, but in reality, you are being chosen to ascend to a higher level of your soul's journey, one that is more grounded and authentic. Michael only appears when you're ready to declare, "I will no longer return to the place where I lost my peace and sense of self-worth." You don't need to be perfect. You only need to be a soul that has once been shaken but is now ready to rebuild. Many call upon angels in their desperation, but I've seen them appear when someone dares to say, "I forgive that person and myself too." That's when protection begins. Archangel Michael doesn't come to avenge you. He comes to sever ties with what no longer belongs to the light, with what undermines your foundation. He helps you cut those invisible cords, not through force, but through awakening to your own inherent value and strength. After awakening, you start to look back with fresh eyes. You no longer blame, beg, or wait for apologies. You simply stand firm and walk away. and the light begins to follow your every steady step. Now consider this. There are souls, like that woman who paid to disappear, who can't live authentically in the presence of your solidity and truth. Have you ever felt inexplicably saved or relieved? One day, you wake up and the heaviness of insecurity is gone. Perhaps you had a dream where you let go of someone's unsteady hand and felt a sudden lightness, or someone who once haunted your thoughts simply vanishes from your life, leaving you with an unexpected sense of peace and groundedness. If you've experienced this, that was the moment Archangel Michael stood by your side. He doesn't need to appear with grandiose wings. He simply needs you to look up from the darkness so the light can enter. I believe that every soul has a breaking point, and at that very point, the light can shine in. Taurus, you are often the one who endures silently, yet you also hold immense foundational strength. You are not weak. You are not overly materialistic. You are simply learning to live authentically and with value in a world that often wears masks and shifts like sand. Your reliable presence, patient and steady, compels others to confront their own lack thereof. Not everyone is ready for that, but don't let that change you. Don't allow pain to shut down your heart or make you doubt your worth. You are the one holding the steady lantern in the night, and today, when Michael arrives, it's to ensure that lantern doesn't extinguish in life's winds. He surrounds you with an unseen armor, not to make you invincible, but so you can be grounded and still feel safe. He doesn't take you away from pain. Instead, he helps you walk through it, revealing that you are far stronger and more resilient than you ever believed. The universe has not forgotten you. God does not turn away from your quiet tears, and Archangel Michael stands ready, sword in hand, to protect your soul with all his compassion and wisdom. I may not know what you're going through, but I do know you are not alone. What you're facing could be part of a purification, a necessary turning point for your life to enter a new chapter, one that is more stable and fulfilling. If you pay close attention, you'll notice that everything begins to change when something awakens within you. That's not a coincidence. It's a whisper from the universe, guidance from the unseen realm where Michael has been waiting for a long time. Let's explore the energy of the earth, which symbolizes stability, practicality, and inner value, core Taurus qualities. It doesn't shout, it doesn't scream, but anyone who has traversed the dark night of the soul understands that the only light guiding them is the steady flame within their heart. Not everyone can hear that call, but you can, because you don't need proof. You just need to feel it in your gut. That feeling is how your soul communicates with the unseen world, through your physical intuition and your sense of true value. Have you ever laid down and felt a deep certainty about something, even if logic argued against it? A feeling of unease around someone, a sense of reassurance about a specific decision. Don't dismiss it as mere coincidence. This is the language of the soul, revealing what needs shoring up, urging you to build safety from within. A Taurus's intuition is not imagination, it is the inner compass you've carried since birth. It speaks through silence, through goosebumps, or a tightening in your stomach when something isn't right, through the eyes of someone who makes you feel untrustworthy even if they haven't said a word. It resonates even when you enter a room where the energy feels unstable or fake. I've always believed that Taurians possess a profound ability to sense truth and inherent value. You feel what others hide behind flowery words, and you sense insincerity even when they smile. Sometimes you may get confused by these feelings, unsure if it's suspicion or your intuition speaking. Instead of trying to overanalyze, step back and observe. When you listen to your intuition, you no longer need to control. You simply need to trust that foundational feeling. When a name echoes in your mind with a sense of unease, it's not random. When you suddenly feel the need to reinforce your boundaries with someone, it's not accidental. When you notice repeating signs related to stability or instability, or a symbol of endurance, like a sturdy tree, appears just when you're feeling shaky, these are all signs. The universe never miscommunicates its messages. Think back to the last time you had a strong gut feeling, a decision made instinctively, not based on logic, but simply because your grounded heart told you so. Where did it lead you? What did it save you from? Share that story, for your words may be the warning someone else needs before misplacing their trust. With Taurus energy, the lesson is not to explain, but to listen to your body and inner knowing. Look to the steadfastness of the earth. It doesn't have the sun's brilliance, but it has the ability to nurture and sustain life quietly. So does your soul. You don't need to appear strong. You just need to be authentic and grounded. You don't need to explain why you feel something lacks true value. You just need to act on that inner truth and welcome it with deep faith. Taurus, you're not as slow or stubborn as others may perceive. You're simply navigating a different layer of energy where the soul communicates in sensations, values, and frequencies of stability. When you accept this truth and stop denying your intuition, you begin to align with the gift the universe has bestowed upon you. Perhaps you've been mocked for being practical, judged as stubborn or overly focused on the material. But remember, the world doesn't need more fake flashiness. It needs souls who can build solid foundations, keep promises, and love loyally. You are one of the rare ones who still holds steadfastness in a world full of thorns. And your intuition is the map leading to healing and true security, not just for you, but for everyone you choose to build with. When you start believing in this, everything around you begins to shift. Those who no longer resonate with your authentic, grounded energy will quietly drift away. New doors leading to stability and genuine value will open without you even knocking, and your inner knowing will become clearer. The universe doesn't test you indefinitely. It's not a harsh master. It's a patient guide, waiting for you to complete your lesson before opening the door to a gentler, more secure world. When you heal, you don't become a perfect version of yourself. You simply become grounded enough to continue your journey. Importantly, you no longer repeat old cycles. You no longer love out of fear of loneliness or insecurity, nor do you hold on out of fear of abandonment. You no longer sacrifice unconditionally for those who don't value you. You start setting firm boundaries. Learn to say no to what doesn't align with your values and stop trying to please everyone at your own expense. You pause when you're tired and allow yourself to rest and enjoy. No one else but you grants yourself this liberation. The universe has always been watching your journey. It has seen your steady steps, heard your quiet whispers in the night, and felt every broken breath when you stopped believing in anything solid. Today it sends you a gift. This gift may not always come in the form of money or love. Sometimes it's peace within your chest, restful sleep, laughter where there once was only sorrow, or a genuine, appreciative gaze from a stranger. It's a message from someone who once hurt you, now softened by time. That's how the universe gives back to you. silently, precisely, and always on time. The universe doesn't test you indefinitely. It's not a harsh master. It's a patient guide, waiting for you to complete your lesson before opening the door to a gentler, more secure world. When you heal, you don't become a perfect version of yourself. You simply become grounded enough to continue your journey. Importantly, you no longer repeat old cycles. You no longer love out of fear of loneliness or insecurity, nor do you hold on out of fear of abandonment. You no longer sacrifice unconditionally for those who don't value you. You start setting firm boundaries. Learn to say no to what doesn't align with your values and stop trying to please everyone at your own expense. You pause when you're tired and allow yourself to rest and enjoy. No one else but you grants yourself this liberation. The universe has always been watching your journey. It has seen your steady steps, heard your quiet whispers in the night, and felt every broken breath when you stopped believing in anything solid. Today it sends you a gift. This gift may not always come in the form of money or love. Sometimes it's peace within your chest, restful sleep, laughter where there once was only sorrow, or a genuine, appreciative gaze from a stranger. It's a message from someone who once hurt you, now softened by time. That's how the universe gives back to you, silently, precisely, and always on time. Taurus, if you find yourself at the threshold of healing and rebuilding, know this: you are not alone. You are surrounded by souls on the same journey. You walk not just for yourself, but for the generations that will follow, those who will receive the light from this grounded and value-driven path you are forging. From the depths of my heart, I want to tell you this: you don't need anyone else to prove your worth. You have always been valuable, even before you were hurt. Allow yourself to believe that, even if just for a moment. In the next part, we'll explore the return of light and stability, where karma resolves and life begins anew, stable and abundant. You will see more clearly how the doors that once seemed closed are now opening. No longer will you face dense chains of trials, testing your stability, but gentle steps filled with hope, allowing your soul to finally rest and begin again, like the solid earth after a long storm. I firmly believe that every shadow in your life serves a purpose. It didn't come to destroy you. It arrived to remind you that the steadfast light within you has never gone out. It was merely covered, waiting for you to trust your own value and step out of the darkness. If you find yourself in a phase where everything seems to have collapsed, know this: you are not standing among ruins. You are on new ground, a space that has been cleansed, where karma has resolved itself, allowing you to plant something new, something purer, more worthy, and more stable. Karma is not a punishment. It is a continuum, the lessons your soul must navigate to evolve and become more grounded. When one karmic cycle ends, there is always light waiting to emerge, not because everything becomes perfect, but because you no longer view life through the lens of a victim, but as a builder. I once believed that healing required forgetting, but I've come to realize that forgetting isn't necessary. What's essential is that you no longer feel destabilized or diminished by those memories. Healing occurs when you can recount the old story without tears, when you can express gratitude for what happened because it has brought you to where you are today, a place of greater strength and self-possession. A true healer, Taurus, is not someone who has never been hurt. Rather, they are the ones who know how to transform pain into inner fortitude, scars into patterns on the soul's tapestry, silence into resolve, and broken dreams into the determination to rebuild, this time on a foundation of awakening and self-worth. You have walked through darkness, not to fall, but to discover that even in the darkest night, your soul still knows how to shine with unwavering strength. This is something that no one can ever take from you. When you live as someone who has healed, you no longer need to force yourself to appear strong. Instead, you simply live authentically and stand by your values. You don't need to retaliate against those who have hurt you. You understand that karma takes care of itself. You don't need to win, because you already have when you didn't lose your core self. Taurus, you are at a turning point, and you can feel it in every breath you take. A shift is coming, not loud, but profound and grounding. You'll begin to notice that the things which used to cause you instability no longer bother you. You'll feel lighter, more grounded, not because everything has changed, but because you have changed. You've completed a full circle, and now you're beginning a new one, but with a stronger heart, a brighter soul, and a more awakened mind focused on true value. At this moment, I want to ask you, which phase are you in? Still in the storm, or standing on solid ground after the storm? Wherever you find yourself, write it down. Every journey deserves to be heard. Sharing your experience is a way to affirm to the universe, I've gone through this. I've learned from it, and I'm ready for the next chapter, one that is stable and meaningful. Life is returning, and you'll start to feel it in the smallest things, a ray of morning light that makes you smile, an old song that suddenly gains new meaning, a warm, genuine hug that needs no explanation, or a look that makes you feel truly seen and valued. You'll realize you don't need to search far to find the light, because that steady light has always existed within you. It's just that now you are peaceful enough to see it. As a Taurus, you are a creature of sensation and value, and these serve as the compass guiding you back to your truest, most grounded self. You no longer run from pain. Instead, you learn to walk alongside it, building strength from it. This is spiritual maturity, the moment you choose to forgive, to let go of what lacks value, and to trust in yourself again. The universe begins to move as well. Those who once turned away from you will start to recognize your value. The doors to stable opportunities that were previously closed will now open. The things you thought were lost will begin to return, but this time in a healed and sustainable form. Finally, when all other doors close, there will be one door meant just for you, a door leading to a completely new version of yourself. This new version will no longer fear loss or instability, will no longer feel the need to prove anything, and will no longer shrink to fit into a world that doesn't appreciate your brilliance and substance. You will stand tall, like the earth after rain, like a mighty, deep-rooted tree. Now, let's revisit that woman who chose to pay to never see you again. In truth, this was a gift from the universe, a silent protection. It's a sign that you are moving into a new chapter, one that you will write with your own steadfastness and self-worth. I believe this chapter will be the most beautiful and stable one yet, filled with lessons learned, growth achieved, and the wisdom gained from your journey of building and enduring. If you are still here, silently and patiently navigating through this video, I want you to know that your soul is doing something immense. Not because you've overcome monumental challenges, but because you are bravely facing yourself without running or hiding. You are no longer the one who cries alone. You have passed through the dark night of the soul, not to prove anything, but to rediscover the unshakable light that resides within you. This light had been obscured by expectations, pain, and the weight of the past. Today, you have opened a crack for that light to shine into your life. We often think that rebirth must be grand, but in reality, the deepest transformations often occur in silence. When you forgive without anyone knowing, when you stop mentioning old pains, when you wash your face, smile, and live another day, no one realizes how truly resilient you are. That is the resurrection of the soul. You no longer need anyone else to grant you a miracle. You are the miracle. Your sensitivity to value, your patience, and your loyalty, qualities you once perceived as weaknesses, have become the map leading you back to your brightest, most grounded self. The universe is smiling at you, the angels are whispering their congratulations, and Archangel Michael, who walked with you through every shadow, is still standing behind you, offering unwavering support from the invisible realm. Now, I want you to do something special. Write something for yourself, whether it's a sentence, a realization, a decision, or a simple promise. Perhaps, I will never forget my inherent worth and inner strength. If you feel called to share, leave a comment saying, "I am moving forward with my own grounded light," or "I'm ready for the next stable chapter." Your story might be the lighthouse that someone else is desperately searching for. Thank you for embarking on this journey with me. Save this video as a reminder that you dared to face the truth, let go of what no longer serves your stability, and chose to live again with love and self-value. If your heart tells you there are still messages meant for you in future videos, don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell, and share this journey with those you love. Light, when shared, travels even further. Taurus, this is not the end. It is only the beginning of your most complete and grounded version. I believe you won't be walking alone anymore. I wish you a journey filled with peace, depth, and radiant, stable light.